been playing the great American game Monopoly for 90 years. You know how much money you get when you're about to begin your big financial quest in the game? Just $1,500. And you're supposed to buy hotels with that? Yeah, and avoid jail too. But there's another definition about the use of Monopoly money. Dozens of TikTok videos celebrate reckless spending, especially on foreign trips. Millions have watched this kind of wastefulness on social media display. But let's hope that taxpayers across the country are going to watch the latest example of reckless spending. Are you watching, Elon? This one is brought to you by Harris County Commissioners Court. I bet you Rodney Ellis and the gang won't like us for telling you, but I kind of suspect they already don't. So let's blow the lid off with another Doja Fino exclusive.
And this program is a really win-win for all of us.
Aren't you scared when a politician says that? But Harris County Commissioner Adrian Garcia was all excited last May to vote on a new loan program using some of the $131 million in leftover COVID money.
This is a fantastic ARPA-funded program that provides small businesses with much-needed capital for loans, with low interest rates and flexible terms.
The pandemic was over 3 years ago, but the COVID money, it's supposed to be spent by the end of 26. But these Harris County bureaucrats, boy, they're clever. They figured out a way to move some of the money into a new special flexible account so they can spend the money years later until October 2029. Unlike our game of Monopoly, where you often have to pay back the bank, Democratic politicians like Rodney Ellis never seem to believe in returning tax money. They are raising our property taxes, despite a growing nearly $300 million toll road slush fund. Enter the latest taxpayer-funded brainchild from your Harris County government, the Opportunity Fund, a loan fund, most of the money set aside for minority and women-owned business.
I'm pleased to announce the Harris County Opportunity Fund.
Maybe this was an early warning sign. It took 5 months to actually give folks a chance after that vote to submit applications for the money. But Commissioner Ellis did roll it out with a really cool promo video.
This is the largest investment by a local unit of government, city or county, or the state for that matter, in a fund of this type. And we're just so proud to have been trendsetters.
Hey, Rodney, as you can see, I like to be a trendsetter too. But what's the price tag for all this?
But using Biden-Harris ARPA dollars, the Harris County Commissioners Court approved $8 million, which our partner, the PeopleFund, matched with $9 million to create a $17 million revolving loan fund.
PeopleFund is a nonprofit lending agency up in Austin.
We are building stronger communities.
Commissioner, you left out the fine print, so we took a look at the actual contract. We're actually spending up to $10.5 million of the ARPA monopoly money. And this charity, PeopleFund, they'll get up to $1.6 million to administer the loans. They get to keep the interest on the loans too. And who's in charge of making sure this program works in Harris County government? The DEI department, already under fire for mismanagement, for not doing what they're supposed to do, for an almost totally remote workforce.
These funds will be loaned to business still recovering from the impacts of COVID-19 or those unable to secure adequate capital in the private market.
The Opportunity Fund is only supposed to be for folks who run their business in Harris County and were negatively affected by COVID. But look at the application. It doesn't even mention COVID. But let's check 6 months after that big news conference to see how Harris County is becoming more equitable. We begin with a company called Global Investment. They submitted an application. Maybe we're helping the entire world.
We're looking for Global Investment, and they got a $15,000 loan. So we're going to see how much it helped.
Global Investment turns out to be a car repair shop in a strip center full of them.
Door is locked. Well, we're here during business hours, so. All right, so I guess they're closed.
The applicant didn't fill in some of the interesting questions on the application. How much time his business is open, whatever that's supposed to mean. And it was optional to answer questions about the number of people in your household, including your marital status. Yeah, the application does say martial status instead. The word misspelled. Our DEI folks do not pass go.
Anybody home? Anyone here? Hello?
Next, we went to JA's Auto Sales. This sounds like a car shop, and it is.
Is this JA Auto Sales?
Oh, I know speaking English. My boss can't fry many.
The business owner, Maria Forafino, wasn't there, but she called us later. A translation provided by her daughter.
She said that, yeah, Harris County did loan her $15,000 and it did help them a lot.
Actually, the $15,000 Maria got from Harris County was a COVID grant she doesn't have to pay back, but her family business got a $25,000 loan too from the Opportunity Fund.
And she is still paying her loan, and it's an auto pay, and that she's paying it.
How was your business affected by COVID-19?
Well, she said that it was in multiple ways, that there was no sales of inventory, and that they were about to close the business.
Hello, is anybody there?
Our last stop was an apartment complex in northwest Harris County, Walters Road, apartment 14E.
This is supposed to be Fantasy Kids.
The apartment is supposed to be a full-time daycare, but where are the kids? No one's here, and it's the middle of the day. The business owner got a $15,000 loan. We looked at state records. Daycares, you know, are supposed to be licensed. Fantasy Kids doesn't have one. We looked at 2 other loans, a total of 5. Just 5. It turns out, in the 11 months since commissioners voted for this Opportunity Fund, only 5 loans have been given out, $85,000. If that's not bad enough, last August we started sending PeopleFund money, a lot of it. You know how much we've paid the PeopleFund in advance of handing out a single dime? $5.7 million. Are you kidding me? They could have already made more than $100,000 just in interest with all that Harris County COVID tax money just sitting in their bank account.
This is Cindy Urrutia with PeopleFund. I'm the senior loan officer for the Houston area in charge of that program.
Cindy may be a senior loan officer, but she told us her bosses at PeopleFund would have to call us back. They didn't, and their contract says they aren't really allowed to talk to people like us, or you. But we did learn that one of those 5 loans possibly shouldn't even be counted. The unlicensed daycare that has invisible children. Even PeopleFund said they weren't sure it's not a loan from one of their other programs. That's reassuring.
Doesn't help a lot of clients. I'm wondering if that number shouldn't have been applied to y'all, because we do help them.
So maybe there are just 4 loans for $70,000. Doesn't really matter. It sounds like the folks at PeopleFund are commingling loan programs under the crack supervision of our DEI department. And that made us want to take a closer look at the PeopleFund itself.
So imagine how this fund supercharges the impact that we will have here in this area.
Gustavo La Sala stood with Commissioner Ellis last October to promise more equity.
We plan to support at least 400 businesses.
But now Gustavo, he doesn't want to talk anymore. The 2023 tax return for PeopleFund shows Gustavo is paid $281,000 to run this lending charity. The charity lost money in 2023, even though they brought in $11 million. So the millions from your Harris County tax money last year, it was a big infusion of cash for them. But Gustavo is clearly compensated other ways. The Texas Secretary of State says in the very same building as the PeopleFund charity, Gustavo runs a for-profit lending service. PeopleFund owns 50% of PeopleFund Advisors LLC, a for-profit company, and it looks like for-profit employees are doing work for the charity. In 2023, there was a transfer between the companies of $1.5 million. Sounds like they're real busy at PeopleFund.
Me, by myself, in Houston, I did like around $4 million last year.
That's another reason we have a growing list of questions for Estela Gonzalez, the $259,000 a year head of the county DEI program, who's been avoiding our questions for weeks.
The Department of Economic Equity and Opportunity is excited and honored to launch this new program.
Quick question from you. We want to talk about the People Fund. Would you please tell me about the Harris County Opportunity Fund?
Questions to my office.
Well, why can't I talk to you right here? You gave the People Fund $5.7 million, and they've only given out 5 loans for $85,000 so far. Are your employees sending any referrals to them? Because there are no applications. You're really not going to turn around and answer those questions?
Here's the good news. PeopleFund has to eventually pay back money they don't use. But that doesn't even start until October 2029, after they've had our money for 5 years. Isn't it time we ask why we gave them millions of dollars in advance? Isn't it time for Harris County Commissioners to hold another one of those press conferences to explain to the folks out there what the hell they're doing? Hundreds of Harris County employees have been working from home 3 years after the pandemic. Another DEI program spent millions to give advice for small business owners. A lot of the money used to watch videos that are absolutely free to watch. Since COVID-19, the budget for our DEI department has exploded from $1.5 million to $8.7 million in just 4 short years. You know what, folks? You get what you vote for.
Okay. All right. Thank you all. Good.